Have you ever felt like you're just going through the motions, working hard, chasing goals, and still feeling unfulfilled? What if the reason you feel stuck isn't because you're not working hard enough, but because your goals aren't truly aligned with your purpose? Today on Wholeness Wednesdays, we will be diving deep into how to uncover your purpose and align your dreams with your values. So you're not just successful, but also fulfilled. If you're ready to stop wandering and start living with clarity and intention, this episode is for you. Let's get started.
Good morning, or good afternoon, or maybe it's evening. It doesn't really matter what time it is, and it doesn't even matter where you are. We want to welcome you to Wholeness Wednesdays. So grab a cup of coffee or tea and join our host, Beatrice Hutchison, as we explore and experience our journey to complete wholeness.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Completely Whole's Wholeness Wednesdays. Here, where we dive deep into the journey of living a life that is whole physically, emotionally, and mentally, spiritually, and financially. I'm your host, Beatrice Hutchison, and today we're talking about something that can be life changing: finding your purpose and aligning your goals and intentions with your values. If you've ever felt lost, stuck, or unsure about your direction, this episode is for you. So we're going to break down practical steps that will hopefully help you to gain clarity, define your purpose, and create goals that truly reflect your values. Because here's the truth: success without alignment leads to frustration. But when your goals are aligned with your values, you create a life that feels fulfilling, meaningful, and purpose driven. And so that's what we're after, and that's what we'll be talking about today. So grab your journal or a piece of paper and pen and take a deep breath, and let's dive in. So, in our first section, we'll be talking about the power of purpose. So, it's important to start off with talking about the why. Why is finding your purpose so important? Purpose purpose gives you direction. It's the inner compass that guides your decisions. It also fuels your motivation. So when your goals and your intentions align with your purpose, you wake up with energy and drive and just that resilience to be able to go about your day. It also creates fulfillment. Success isn't just about achievement, but it's about meaning, having true meaning. Proverbs 19th chapter 21st verse says, "Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails." So this means that aligning with your true purpose leads to the greatest fulfillment. So next, let's talk about some practical steps to help you discover your purpose. So, how do you actually find your purpose, right? That is the age old question that so many people wonder. Well, we're going to talk about 5 powerful steps that can help you to discover your purpose. So, number 1, reflect on your core values. So, your purpose is always aligned, always connected to what matters most to you. And so you want to ask yourself some questions. What are the top 5 values that guide my life? When have I felt the most fulfilled? What was I doing at that time that I felt most fulfilled? What kind of impact do I want to make on others, on the world? What kind of impact do I want to make? And so write these questions down and write your answers and your values, because that will be your foundation. Okay, and so now that you have those questions that can help you to bring a little bit of clarity or at least give more thought, let's talk about identifying our strengths and our passions. And so God has given each of us unique gifts. Wouldn't you agree? What comes naturally to some may not come naturally to others. So, what comes naturally to you? What do people always call on you for? What could you do for hours without getting bored with? So I want you to try this exercise. List 3 things that you love doing and 3 things you're naturally good at. Where do they overlap? And if you're able to see where they overlap, then that's a clue to where your purpose is. Step number 3, let's pay attention to what breaks your heart. Sounds strange, right? But this is an important part. So often our purpose is tied to the things that move us deeply, right? So we want to ask ourselves, what problem in the world do I feel called to solve? What injustice or issue stirs something up inside me? What is it that really, really frustrates me when I see it or don't see it? Right? So your purpose might be hidden in those things that you absolutely cannot ignore. And so, number 4, seek divine guidance. Spend time in prayer and meditation. Ask God, what have you created me to do? Right? Because we've talked a lot about have God calling us and God creating us for a purpose on purpose, right? And then today we're talking about identifying or discovering what that purpose is. And so how can we do that without getting in touch with the creator, right? So ask him, what did you create me for? Why was I sent or dispatched into the earth? What was I sent here to solve? Who was I sent here to help? And so those questions could really help you, but you need to have that conversation, right? And so sometimes we search everywhere else for answers when God has already, he already has the answers. He's already placed them inside us. And so sometimes we need to have that conversation so that we can begin to think about it and discuss those things out loud. Jeremiah 29:11 reminds us that, for I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and to not harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. So trust that your purpose is already written, right? The word of God says that God knew the end before the beginning. So he knows why you were created, and he already has that plan written, right? So now let's go to the next one. So number 5, you want to take action in faith. You don't have to have everything figured out before you start, right? You've heard me say it before. Just start, just do it. So purpose is discovered often through action, not just reflection. So take one small step today. And so whatever that means for you to take that step, maybe sign up for a class or start a blog, volunteer, or reach out to a mentor. The more you step out, in faith, the clearer your path will become. So the next segment I want to talk about is aligning your goals and your intentions with your values. So let's talk about that. So now that we have a clearer understanding or idea about our purpose or how to identify it or discover it, let's make sure that our intentions and our goals align with it. And so here are some ways that we can do that. So number 1, we want to set those goals and intentions that reflect our values. So for example, if health is a value, create a goal around fitness or nutrition. If family is a value for you, then set a goal to spend more quality time with loved ones. If financial freedom is a value for you, then you want to make a plan to save, to invest, and to start a business. So those are some ways, or those are some examples that could help you see how to make sure that your goals and intentions align with your purpose. And so number 2, we want to use the SMART goal method. And so if you've heard of that, if not, SMART is the acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. And so what that looks like is that instead of saying, I want to start a business, you would say, I will launch my online business by June 1st with at least 10 products. So you see how there's a difference there, not just that you want to do it, but that you will do it, how you will do it, what it will look like, and by what is your timeline for it, right? So that it is time bound. So the next thing you want to do, which is number 3, is eliminate goals that don't align. So if a goal is draining you instead of fulfilling you, then you need to ask yourself the question, does this align with my values? If not, then guess what? Let it go. Because it will drain you and it will be unfulfilling and it will be a waste of your time. So let it go if it does not align to your values. Next, we want to talk about number 4, which is create a vision board. So visualizing your goals keeps them in focus, right? And so it helps you to fill it with images. It helps you to keep in focus with and you would fill this vision board with images, words, and scriptures and affirmations, anything that reminds you of your purpose. And so we've talked about this in prior episodes. Do go back and check it out, but it talks about the power of visualization and a vision board. And so that could help you also to work towards your purpose. And also I have a free resource and another resource that you could also purchase to support with that. But the next section I want to talk about are the final thoughts. So we're winding up our time together today, right? And so I want you to remember that your purpose is not something that you have or that you should be chasing, right? But it's something you uncover. It's not something that you know immediately, that you're born knowing, right? But it's something that you uncover. And as you align your goals and your goals and intentions with those values, you'll experience peace, and not just peace, fulfillment and success that is deeply satisfying. And so we don't want to just live life, right? We want it to be according to our purpose, because if we don't, we will never be fulfilled, and we want to live fulfilled lives. We don't want to come here and be assigned to do something and we never realize it and we never get it done. And so we take it to the grave with us. So remember, you were created for a reason, with a purpose on purpose, right? And your gifts and your passions are not random, right? But they are clues to your purpose. And so God created you strategically, intentionally. And so your gifts are to assist with your purpose. And so when you align with your values, everything in life flows at a greater ease. Everything just seems to fall into place and it just flows so easily. And so take the first step today. Take into consideration some of the things that we talked about. You want to pray, of course, reflect, and then take action, right? At least one small step, whatever that means for you. You want to take action. Don't just reflect and leave it there, but please take action. We're about taking action here, right? So we want you to experience breakthrough, and breakthrough for you is closer than you think. So if you really would put into place some of the practical steps that we talked about, then you'll begin to realize and understand even the more your purpose. And so please do make sure that you apply what you learned, because that is what we are about here. We are still on the journey to wholeness, right? And so how can we get there if we don't apply the things that we hear? So let us not just be hearers, but let us be doers, right? So thank you so much for your time and for stopping in to listen to another episode of Wholeness Wednesdays. If you heard anything that has resonated with you, please do share it with a friend who may need encouragement. And hopefully you found some encouragement in what was shared today. Subscribe and leave a review, and let's continue this journey together towards wholeness. Remember, your journey to wholeness, complete wholeness, starts here. And so I want you to remember that and to keep in focus that that's what we're moving towards. And as we end, as we always do, let us affirm together. So please do repeat after me. I decree that I will identify, discover, and embrace my purpose. And I declare that right now, I will walk out that purpose. So as soon as I realize it, I will walk out that purpose and experience my breakthrough year. Last episode, we talked about the breakthrough year, and we are still believing that to be true for 2025 for you and for me too. My prayer for each of you is that you will receive healing and complete wholeness in every area of your life, and that this year will be like no other year, and that we make it the best year that we've ever had yet. So let's make 2025 a year of great success, and not just success, but fulfillment. Until next time, stay aligned, right? That's what we talked about today. Stay aligned, mind, body, and soul. Stay purpose driven and be made whole.
We thank you for sharing this time with us here at Wholeness Wednesdays. Thank you for joining us to explore and experience this journey to complete wholeness. Please remember that we are only an email away. Your questions and input are welcome via bhutch@completelywhole1.com. See you next time here at Wholeness Wednesdays.